Nick, I got to go back to what Kyle Kuzma said. Is he right that LeBron should have been MVP at least 8, 9, 10 times?
No, Kyle Kuzma's not right. But LeBron should have been MVP 7 times. I'll show you them in just a moment. But first, point of order, because I need to remind the audience of a fact that Chris Broussard likes to always misrepresent. Broussard, my good friend, will say, well, Nick thinks LeBron should be MVP every year. Not true. The last year that I advocated for LeBron to be MVP was 2017. The year everyone fell in love with Russell Westbrook's triple-doubles, I thought LeBron was the MVP that year. 18 was clearly Harden, 19 LeBron was hurt, and last year I said it was Giannis. It was close, but it was Giannis. But here are the 3 years that I feel, and by the way, I know this, these are the 3 that really stick in LeBron's craw, that he feels he got screwed out of. His 3rd year in the league, when everyone was falling all over themselves about Steve Nash, LeBron came in 2nd. He was obviously the better player. The win difference was like, I think, 54-50. His first year in Miami, everyone knows the wrong guy won the MVP. It was clearly it was, we're angry at LeBron for leaving the Cavs. And then his first year back in Cleveland, Steph's first MVP is the one that, to this day, those last 2 are the ones he would bring up. I leave Cleveland. They're the worst team in the league for 4 years. I come back. We're the 2 seed. And all of a sudden, Steph Curry wins it. So those are the 3 years. The statistical case is in his favor. The eye test was in his favor. So Broussard, he shouldn't have 8, 9, or 10. But he should have at least 7. The 4 he won. And those 3 right there.
Look, Kuzma's wrong, as you said. If Kuzma wants to say he was the best player in the world for 8, 9, 10 years, sure. I don't think even players that won the MVP award over LeBron would disagree with that. So that's good. But that's not – we've never just given it to the best player every year. And thankfully, because then you could vote before the season or halfway through the season. And LeBron's right. He brought up a good point. Michael Jordan, should he have more than 5? Probably. Shaq and Kobe have 2 combined. They each have 1. Should they have more? Probably. So LeBron's not alone in this. Nick, I'll get to your 7 is too much. I looked at this year by year, and I got to be honest, the only year I came up with where LeBron could have won it that he
Derrick
didn't,
Rose.
in my view, was 05-06. His 3rd year in Cleveland, which was a tremendous season. They won 50 games. He had really no help. He averaged 31 points a game, a career high, 7 boards, 6.5 assists. The first year in Miami, how? Derrick Rose had no other stars. Luol Deng and Joakim Noah were his best players with him, and they won 62 games. LeBron was with Wade and Bosh, and they won 59. You got better players, you win fewer games, you don't get it. Then the first year in Cleveland, I thought Harden. I voted for Harden that year, I believe, over Steph. Okay. LeBron, they won 50 games, I think it was. He didn't go to Cleveland by himself.
53.
Kyrie was there, obviously
they
a great
won
53. Player. 53. But he brought Kevin Love there when ESPN and other people thought Love was a top 10 player in the world. He was putting up historic numbers in Minnesota, so it wasn't like LeBron went there by himself. So I got to be honest, I'm looking at other years. I only think 05-06, so maybe 5.
Okay, so the Derrick Rose year is an abomination. Everyone knows it's an abomination. I can't believe you're defending it. The Steph year, the first one, they won 67 games. So I understand when you win 65-plus games, you're the best player, you typically win an MVP. The difference is that LeBron went to a team that had been, in the 4 years he was gone, they got the number 1 pick of the draft 3 times, and then immediately they're a 50-plus win team. But I'm just telling you, it happens to be my opinion as well, but those are the 3 years, Jenna, that stick out to LeBron, that those should have been his MVPs. Not Steph's unanimous, not KD's MVP. Those are the 3 years that stick out to him, Jenna.
I want to go back to something else that Kuzma said in that clip after the game. He called the MVP a political award. Broussard, do voters want to give LeBron this award? Is this a narrative that's sort of building up that they want to award it as a narrative honor?
Senator Chris.
It's not political.
Yeah, cut him off.
The media are the best people to vote for this award, and that's been proven historically in every sport. If you let players vote, remember when the players voted for the All-Star team the first year, a few years ago, and like 130 guys left LeBron off their ballot? I mean, come on. Players have shown they shouldn't be voting. Media is the most objective, even as we're human. I have 5 precedents that I use or 5 criteria I use to vote for MVP. First, obviously, your numbers and performance has to be great. Performance is key. We would look at Brooklyn and say Kevin Durant's the best player, but James Harden has had the greatest performance this year. Team record, since 1981, when media started voting, no one's won it with less than 50 wins other than the year Westbrook won it with the triple-double average. Supporting cast, obviously, who you have playing with you, that's going to help your team record. If you don't have other stars, then you're going to win, and you win more games. That's huge because you did it mostly on your own. Historical precedent, we didn't give it to Michael Jordan every year that he was the best player in the league. So I don't think going forward, whether it's LeBron, whether it's, another player coming up in the future, that shouldn't be the criteria because it wouldn't be fair to the guys in the past. And historical significance,
Sure.
I'll give you an example. Steve Nash won 2 straight. The 3rd year after his 2 straight, there were people trying to convince me Nash should win it again. I said, hold up. The only players to win it 3 straight times, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Larry Bird. There's no way Steve Nash belongs in that class. He can't win that. So
That's right.
Historical significance plays a role as well.
So, but there is, and Broussard, I want to talk about this with you because there is a growing sentiment, and I hear it, and our friend Kevin Wildes, argues that, well, the media wants LeBron to win this, that there is a narrative push for him. And my pushback to that is, it is hard for me to find a year where LeBron has benefited from some type of media narrative. Last year, keep in mind that the voting stuff was supposed to be everything you did up until the shutdown. Last year, I thought it was Giannis, but it was very close. And it was the Bucks had been on a 70-win pace, but then they fell off right before the shutdown, and where they were on a 66-win pace and the Lakers were on a 64-win pace. It was very close between those two. The voting was 85-16. The year of Giannis versus LeBron. The year Harden won in 2018. And Kyrie had left, and LeBron carried that Cavs team, played all 82, set a career high in assists, set a career high in rebounds, all of it. The voting was 86-15 Harden. The year Steph won his first one that I referenced earlier. The voting was 100 for Steph, 25 for Harden, 5 for LeBron. So I don't think there actually is a historical example in LeBron's career of him getting just a bunch of media fanboys voting for LeBron. When he has won the MVP, he has run away with it because it has not even been, there's been no argument. And whenever there has been an argument, LeBron or someone else, he's lost. Like, anytime it's been a 2-man race with LeBron, one of the two, it's gone to the other guy. So I actually think the narrative has worked against him historically.
I would agree with you. I wouldn't say the narrative's worked against him as if people don't want to give him the award, but I agree with you. He hasn't benefited from any narrative that, has given him awards he doesn't deserve. I think this would be the year. If ever there was a year the narrative was working in LeBron's favor and might help him get the award, I think it would be this year. And I think that's based off what happened last year, where, again, Giannis not only won it, but won it going away. And then in the playoffs, we see Giannis fizzle, and we see LeBron play tremendously in a difficult situation in the bubble and lead the Lakers to the championship. So I think people now are kind of in the back of their mind thinking, maybe LeBron should have got it last year. If he plays well and the Lakers win a lot of games, if he's close, we'll reward him this year. Plus, he's in his 18th year.
I also
That's
think
historically significant.
And I think we can set the 18th year stuff aside. At least I think we should, because it isn't supposed to be a Lifetime Achievement Award. But I also think two of the biggest arguments that people used against LeBron when he was in Cleveland were, well, they have all these wins, but it's in the East, and, well, but he's not caring about the defensive side of the ball. Now, they have the second best record in all of basketball in the West, and they are the #1 defense in basketball, with him being the biggest reason behind that since Anthony Davis has missed a month plus now. So those arguments, Jenna, that once upon a time were used against him, if you want to be intellectually consistent, they have to work in his favor when he's in the tougher conference and doing it on both ends of the court this year.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.